Next, I want to talk about the whole setup of the ring area. And you know what? Even with like the millions and millions of more dollars that they have now with production costs, it was still better, the whole fucking setup in the Attitude Era. Like, in the Attitude Era, it was more simple. You had like, you know, the black curtains, the black block in the middle that says WWF Attitude, and then you had the basic classic Titantron look. You know, you didn't have this flashy like screen in the back that says Elimination Chamber 3 weeks away. Ooh, so fucking cute. You know, it was just simple, and it had a small ramp. The crowd was like, the fan, they had gates, not the fucking barrier. They had gates, which was more cool, and it was like closer to the ring, so it felt like you were part of it. And it just looked like it looked like gritty, like a little like run down. It kind of looked like you were at this like illegal fight club underground, like you weren't supposed to be there. And now it just looks like some fucking circus show. It's like just too much. It's too fucking pretty looking, you know? It's like all fucking sparkly, like this, like the steel's like so fucking shiny and shit. It's like, I don't know, like it's not a big thing, but I do, you know, take it to heart because it just looks way too produced. You know, it doesn't look badass. It doesn't look like a fight place. It looks like a place where they're gonna do gymnastics or some shit. And then the one thing that never makes sense to me. So the color theme for Raw, since its inception, fucking 20 years ago, has always been red. I mean, that's a given. The fucking, the letters of Raw are always colored in red. There's like red fire coming out and shit. You have red ropes for like most of the time. Why the fuck would you make the ropes white all of a sudden? I don't understand it. This is like the most dumb fucking decision. It's like WWE realizes that their product sucks and they have to make some changes. So they make changes over irrelevant bullshit. They're like, oh, shit. Wow, we're fucking up. Maybe if we change the rope color, that'll bring in 3 million new viewers. How about changing your fucking writing? Fucking changing the rope color from red to white. There's no even fucking white in the fucking color theme of the show. Makes no sense at all. Give me back my red ropes now, bitch. So the two big programs in the Attitude Era and still in the PG Era are always Raw and SmackDown. Now, back then, you had Raw is War. What an awesome fucking title. Not only is it a play on the Raw name, spelling it backwards is War, but it just described the mentality. Raw is War. You know, we were going to war with WCW. This is, you know, supposed to be badass. You're gonna see some real shit, some fucking like blood and shit, some fucking beatdowns like War is supposed to be. Raw is War, motherfucker. What a great fucking title. And it was a 2-hour show, you know? Sometimes it didn't even go past 11 like it does these days. It was a 2-hour show, and it was just plotted so good, you know? The pacing was so perfect. You had a big main event guy come out in the beginning. Then you had a lot of good mid-carders, upper mid-carders throughout. Then another main event spot, maybe a upper mid-card match at 10 p.m. Bunch of like, you know, good shit. Not at the Austin Rock level, but good shit. And then at the end, you had your big segment or your big main event match. It was a 2-hour affair. 2 hours, you're done. You even wanted more at the time, but it was just paced so good. And now you have a 3-hour Raw, and it's like you get two good things that equal for a total of like 8 minutes in a fucking over 3-hour show. It makes no sense. You're doing these 3-hour Raws that have a longer running time than your actual fucking pay-per-views. I thought you buy pay-per-views because they're longer than Raw, you know, you can get more out of it. But no, Raw is longer than the fucking pay-per-views. When The Rock is on Raw, Raw could be like 3.5 hours. So it doesn't make sense to me, the pacing of Raw anymore. And then you have SmackDown, holy shit. Now, I haven't watched SmackDown since like fucking 2005 or some shit, you know, because SmackDown totally fucking sucks. It's not even a show to me anymore. It's like fucking on the same level of Superstars. It's just a show of a bunch of jobbers and like people in the middle of the mid card. That's like the highest you get, you know? You're not gonna get over that, you know? They try to bring in The Rock and CM Punk every once in a while, but nobody's gonna fucking watch. It's bullshit because we're gonna see the fucking highlight on Raw. So why watch SmackDown? And back then, SmackDown was like, when they had the brand split, you know, at the end of the Attitude Era, beginning the Ruthless Aggression Era, SmackDown was the place to be if you wanted straight up wrestling, you know? You had you know, Raw had the main segments, the main storylines, but SmackDown had the best fucking matches. Like, holy shit, you had fucking Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, Chris Benoit, Undertaker when he could fucking wrestle, Edge, Eddie Guerrero, the list goes on and fucking on. SmackDown had the top wrestlers. And now it's a fucking joke of a show. You couldn't pay me fucking $1 million to watch that piece of shit show. So there you go. Raw and SmackDown in the Attitude Era. Much better than Raw and SmackDown in the PG Era. Next. So this one is a big one with me. And you have to be a fucking mentally retarded if you don't agree with this one. So back then in the Attitude Era, you had JR and Jay the King Lawler on commentary. Probably, very arguably, the greatest commentary duo ever in the history of professional wrestling. Today you have Michael Cole and Jay the King Lawler. Now let's go back. JR and Jay the King Lawler. I mean, these guys, especially JR, they could make a match with fucking Val Venus versus Goldust seem like it's Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels with his career on the line. I mean, these guys, holy shit, they make moments like and amp it up like times 10, you know? Like, imagine, like, even like the Hell in a Cell with Undertaker and Mankind, it is brutal visually, but, you know, JR saying, oh my God, makes it like 10 times fucking, you know, better than it is, you know? Saying, King saying, oh my God, he just killed him, that's it, he's dead. It's like, these guys knew how to fucking put things over. Now you watch the commentary and they're talking about irrelevant bullshit, like, they're just talking about Cody Rhodes' mustache for the whole match without calling the fucking match at all. It's ridiculous. You know, you had JR putting over faces and King putting over heels. King was a heel commentator. He said some funny shit, very funny stuff. I'm telling you, King today is nothing. He's like a fucking... It's like his balls were chopped off, his dick was chopped off, you know, his like leg was chopped off. He's like not even a shell of himself. He's not even himself at all. And it's sad because he was very funny back then. And so you have Michael Cole and Jay the King Lawler today, and they're both fucking faces. It doesn't make sense. Why do you have two face commentators putting over faces and burying heels? How the fuck is the heel supposed to get heat on commentary when nobody's fucking giving them any credit? It makes no sense. This is so fucking stupid. You know? You have Michael Cole and Jay the King Lawler sucking John Cena's dick and burying the Shield. But why? You need a heel commentator. And they're not even good commentators. They talk about shit that's not even going on in the match. And Jay the King Lawler is a PG fucking bitch. I know he had a heart attack and everything, but this guy, oh my God, he is so fucking PG. This guy laughs at anything that's, like, not even funny. You know, he laughs at G-rated material that not even a fucking baby with, like, a fourth of a brain would laugh at. I'm sorry, man, but commentary today sucks dick. You had a big main event scene. And what I mean by that, you had a multitude, like a various amount of players in the main event scene. You know, the main guys were Austin and The Rock, but that didn't mean that they were always in the main event. Who do you have now? Seriously, who do you have now? John Cena, CM Punk. That's all it is. You have guys, you know, that are pushed there for one match and then brought down to mid-card level, you know? People like Miz and, you know, Jack Swagger, like, they'll be pushed into a main event match and then they'll be result right back down to the mid-card, so they're not main event players. But back then you had Austin, Rock, Taker, Kane, Triple H, Foley, Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho. The list goes on and fucking on. You know? You didn't have to do the same fucking match every fucking pay-per-view because you have no fucking main eventers. You know, it's ridiculous. You had this huge main event scene, so nothing really felt like, you know, overkill because you had a lot of contenders. Today it's all John Cena and CM Punk, you know? And then you'll have like an Alberto Del Rio sometimes in there, but he's just like, he's not a serious champion. He's like just there to, you know, he's just there to hand the belt off to somebody, you know? He's not a big main event scene guy. There's nobody. The humor back then, compared to the humor now, is amazing because the humor back then, it was actually fucking funny. Like, you could watch Raw and laugh for 2 hours straight because shit was actually funny. When they tried to be funny, they were funny. You didn't need to have fucking JR and Jay the King Lawler on the fucking commentary going to try to make you laugh, to try to brainwash you and say, oh, this is funny. They're laughing, so I'll laugh. It was actually funny, you know? You had The Rock back then doing some awesome fucking funny promos, like, you know, with the fucking Jericho and The Rock, with the whole the rhyming thing with, you know, Booker T and Shane McMahon, pussy, and spoon-fed motherfucker, and all that stuff. It was funny, and one of the funniest I'll always remember, him making fun of Booker T in school. Booker, what's 2 plus 2? 2 plus 2? Thomas Jefferson, sucker! Like, that shit was funny, you know, not this fucking Nashville shit that he did last night. You know, the humor was like, it was like developed, and this humor now, it's like more primitive than like humor from like the 1800s or like the early 1900s. It's like falling down, like the you know, the typical falling down. Oh, the guy falls down. That's art compared to this fucking humor. It's ridiculous. It's like Kali steps on the guy's toe and runs away. Ha! Holy shit! This is fucking hilarious. I'm fucking having an out of body experience here. You know, nobody could laugh at this shit, and it's for 9-year-olds, and 9-year-olds don't find this funny. You have to be like a baby before it could put together its first coherent sentence in order to laugh at this shit. It's horrible. As you can see from the different attire that I'm wearing, that this is a new addition to the list recorded after the original video, because this list just keeps on growing and growing and growing. So it's time for some statistics, time for some stats. Woo! I'm a stat man. Bow, bow. Yes, I'm a stat man. I love to give them, love to see them, love to list them, 'cause I'm a stat man. Alright. So the PG era is so great, you know, because it appeals to kids. You know, it's bringing in that kids demographic so much. Obviously, this is their main target. Little kids, you know. John Cena says most people who watch the show are 9-year-olds. Okay, so I'm expecting a big increase in the kids demographic compared to the Attitude Era, you know, because this shit is so targeted towards kids. I mean, we have dancing, you know, we have hugs, we have, you know, baby oil and stuff. Alright, so from a statistic that just came out today, it said that the Attitude Era, their under 18 demographic made up just under 40% of the audience. And what about today? What does that under 18 demographic make up? 21%! Huh? That doesn't make sense. So, you have a kids show, a PG show appealing towards kids, and yet in the Attitude Era, you almost had double the amount of kids watching. How does this make sense, Vince? I don't understand this. You know, you're saying that this is geared towards kids. You're so scared to turn John Cena heel or turn anybody heel because the kids aren't going to watch anymore. Well, apparently, over double the amount of kids loved seeing Austin drink beer and beat the shit out of his boss. They love seeing girls with their breasts and their ass out. So, that's it. There goes this whole PG excuse that this shit is for kids. You know, back in the Attitude Era, almost 40% of the audience was kids. And that was a show geared towards, you know, older people, geared towards adults, geared towards 18-year-olds, and more kids were watching that shit. So why this company is so scared that, you know, parents are going to let their kids watch? They really think parents in America really give a shit about what their kids watch. Like I said, I was watching Scarface when I was like 2 years old. Parents in America don't give a shit. You know? So, you're so worried that everybody's scared of what their kids watch, yet everybody in America let their children watch this shit in the Attitude Era. Nobody, now kids don't even want to watch this shit. It's for kids, but kids are saying, fuck this is too fucking kiddie for me. This is childish shit. So there you go. Another fucking reason why the Attitude Era was better than the PG Era, because the Attitude Era had a larger demographic than the audience that the PG Era is targeting towards. How much of a fail is that, you know? Like take a show like Pokemon, you know? You know, imagine Pokemon being geared towards kids and no fucking kids watching it. Would they still do the same show? No. So there you go. Dispute Me, PG fans. Let's go.